You've done the research. You've initiated a new process, or you found a new piece of software, or you purchased a new training program that you know will make your business more money. You're excited about it, and you bring the idea to one of your key employees, and you're hit with 6 of the most frustrating words in business. We don't have time for that. You see an investment in future efficiency and profit. They see a disruption in their packed schedule today. It's a brick wall, and you're stuck. It shuts down the conversation. At best, it makes you feel like your employees just don't get it. At worst, it just makes you feel like firing all of them. If you ever felt this frustration, you're not alone. The problem is, they're often right. They're too busy. They're too busy doing things the old ass way. This isn't an employee motivation problem. This isn't a respect problem. It's a sales problem. And you're the salesperson. You have to sell them on the value that this change that you want to make. And the currency isn't money, it's time. The mistake that most owners make is they forget they have to sell their ideas internally with the same energy that they use to sell their services and products externally. Your employees are your first and most important customers. When they tell you something costs too much, they're giving you a sales objection that you need to handle. In this video, I'm going to show you how to handle that time objection and turn your new ideas from something they dread into something they value. By the way, I'm Mel, and I've worked for years with new business owners and helped them unlock over $600,000 in hidden profits. The investor and founder of acquisition.com, Alex Hormozi, has a famous value equation that he uses for selling. He says people will buy anything if the value is high enough. The equation is value equals dream outcome times likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice. Now, I've adapted it for internal sales, for getting your employees to buy into your new ideas. When an employee tells you they don't have time, they're making a value judgment. They're saying the time and effort delay of learning the new thing feels greater than the promise of the dream outcome. Most owners completely fail when they try to sell an idea to their employees because they only focus on the dream outcome for the company, the profit. But in most cases, your employees don't get paid more if the company is more profitable. Your job as the leader is to flip that equation. You have to prove in concrete terms that the time invested in your idea is a tiny fraction of the time being wasted by the current way that we're doing things. You have to sell them their own time back at a massive discount. For your employees, time is their most valuable currency. And right now, they see you and your new ideas as an expense, not an investment. You haven't proven the ROI of doing what you're asking them to do. It came from working with teams where this exact dynamic was happening. In my video, Fix or Fire, What to Do with Your Difficult Employee, I told the story of Sarah, a brilliant designer who initially saw my meetings as a complete waste of her time. You have to think of every meeting you schedule as a product that you are selling to your employee. They are buying it with their time. If they don't see the value, they will not buy in. So, how do you increase the value? You have to build a reputation for making every minute they spend with you incredibly profitable for them. The secret is to reframe the purpose of the meeting from something that serves you, like gathering information, to something that serves them, like removing one of their frustrations. So let's walk through a few real world scenarios where this time objection comes up constantly. So say you've researched and found a new piece of software. You know it will make your business more efficient and more profitable. You demo it for your employees at the staff meeting, and again, you're all excited about it. But one of them says, I get it in theory, but another tool, really? We just don't have the time to learn this whole new system. I mean, last time we did this, it slowed everything down for like a month. So that last part is crucial. They have the trauma of past failed initiatives, and you have to acknowledge that. So go ahead and acknowledge it and say something like, yep, that's a completely fair point. And if this slows us down for a month, then that's a bad idea. So let's not talk theories. Let's talk about your actual work day. Can you give me a conservative estimate of how many hours you did personally, how many hours you personally lost last week due to disorganized communication or hunting for files or, anything like that. So, you let them think for a moment. They might start talking about, chaotic searches or in the shared drives or, constant Slack notifications and interruptions or, having to do redo or correct erroneous paperwork, and, they just might just kind of just be, just vibing and just talking about these things. And then you start adding it up, right? You add it up for them, maybe it's like 5 or 6 hours per person. And then you can be like, so now there you connect the dots. And you say, okay, so that's a real cost. If we add all this time up, what that's showing us is we're already paying over 20 hours in your most valuable time every single month. So what that's showing us, that's what we're doing right now. And my goal with this tool is to eliminate that cost and give you those 20 hours back. When we do that, we get more efficient. The company becomes more profitable. With those profits, we can buy more resources and maybe, better equipment or other things that you want that will make your job easier and faster. So with this, why don't we just invest 2 hours in proper hands-on training, this week, where we learn this tool, and then after 30 days, if we see that this tool isn't saving more time, then we get rid of it. How about that? So with this kind of way of doing it, you acknowledge their fear, you quantify the current pain that they're having, and you connect the efficiency to profit and stability that they're interested in, and you de-risk the decision. And now it's an easy yes, as opposed to oh no, here he comes with more time-consuming things. So next we'll talk about the meetings again. One of your best diagnostic tools is having one-on-one meetings with each employee. It's the most valuable way for you to gather the intel you need to find profit leaks and opportunity to make more profit. But to the employees, it feels like a pointless corporate exercise that's stealing an hour of their precious and limited time. You have to sell the meeting itself. You start by saying, I know you're busy, so my only goal here is to make the most valuable hour, to make this the most valuable hour of your week. I'm here to find and remove major obstacles that are wasting your time. Now you just aligned it with their needs. Then when you are in the meeting with them, you hunt for real frustration. No matter what you're looking for in the meeting, you make sure to make the time to hunt for their frustration. And then they might tell you about a chaotic workflow or an overcomplicated process or, some other, things that's costing their time. So you listen to that. You listen and, you can nod and all that stuff, but you don't just stop there. You actually get to work in solving it right in the meeting. You open up a document or you go to that new software that you have or something, and you, with them, right in the meeting, you say, let's fix this right now. And by the end of the meeting, you end the meeting by saying, thank you. We just solved a problem that was probably costing you hours. And that changes. We just outline here. We're going to put them into effect right now, this afternoon, today, So the employee leaves the call not just feeling heard, but feeling actually accomplished. They invested an hour and they got a permanent solution to their worst headache. Now, when they see a meeting invite from you in the future, instead of like thinking, oh, what a time waster, they see an opportunity. So what about if you want to take a whole day or a couple of days to do a training that's designed to reduce costly errors? So of course, your employees are going to say, a full day? Are you kidding me? We're already so far behind. If we're all offline for a day, the support queue will explode. So again, acknowledge, don't just defend, acknowledge. You're right. The real risk here, that's a real risk that we need to manage. So, let's play it out. Let's game it out. On an average day, how many of those support tickets are for the same repetitive and frustrating problem? And they might answer you something like, probably like 30 to 40% of them. Well, you reframe that choice now. So right now, what you're saying is a third of your entire day, every day, is spent on putting out the same fire. So we can either keep doing that forever, or we can take one day and learn how to prevent that fire from even starting in the first place. You're right about the queue. That's a problem. So here's the plan. We'll do the training on our slowest day of the week. And I will personally pay for 2 senior people to work overtime that evening so they clear all the backlog. So then when we come back the day after training, everything is fresh. Does that plan work for you? So in that something like that, you've not only made a logical case, and of course the case that makes sense to you, the bottom line and making more profit, you've made a concrete plan to mitigate their biggest fear. For your employees, time is the engine of your company's profitability. When they tell you they don't have time, they're giving you a business objection, and it's your job to handle it with a clear business case. As we talked about, using Alex Hormozi's value equation is the key. But that entire equation falls apart if you don't know what your employee's true dream outcome is. You can't sell them on a dream if you don't know what they're dreaming about. Is it less time on a repeating process? Is it a clearer company-wide workflow? Is it the ability to leave exactly at 5 p.m. or 4:59:59 as one of my colleagues says? Trying to guess what they want is how you fail. Asking is how you succeed. The internal sales process doesn't start when you just pitch your idea. It starts when you do your customer research, like with any other customer. And your employees, in this case, are your customers. So how do you do that research? Well, I have a free 2-page legacy loop diagnostic kit. It's a PDF that guides you through what I call a listening tour. And it helps you uncover exactly what your employees' dream outcomes are. More than a strategic list of questions, it's your internal customer research tool. The 5 questions inside this kit are designed to get your employees to tell you, in their own words, what their biggest frustrations are and what their ideal workday looks like. It's the key that unlocks the dream outcome variable in the value equation that Alex Hormozi talks about. Once you have this information, you can frame any idea, a new software, a new process, a new training, a new direct solution, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. You can frame that as a direct solution to their stated problems. You'll stop guessing and you'll start selling them on a future that they've already told you they want. So to get started, download the diagnostic kit for free using the first link in the description of this video. Click that link, discover your dream's real dream outcome, start making the changes that will make you more money that they, your employees, will also thank you for. Thanks for watching.